Hey guys, Pig of the Hut here. This is my Kenshi Possess guide, one of 3 guides that will be released in the next 3 days. But this is the first one because it's my favorite one. Now before I start the video, I want to try to run down just briefly and try to run through as much as I can before the video starts to kind of set up as like a primer before the video starts. Why I think Possess is one of the best. Right off the bat, Shoulder is the safest. Rising Karma is the safest. And you don't have to put up with whiffing a back forward 3 like you do in Kenjutsu and Balance, where it's minus 51 and minus 53 on whiff, which is basically death in the game Mortal Kombat X. Back forward 3 in Possess is a mid, and although it's negative and pretty significantly negative, it's never the death that you get when you whiff a back forward 3 in Kenjutsu and Balance. Other than that, this variation looks fantastic. It also has really good mix-ups, probably the best space control, which I'll talk about. The down 4 teleport game is very strong. Down 4 on hit guarantees a teleport, and they have to block the 2 on the way down, the punch on the way down, or the kick on the way down. They cannot backdash or armor or x-ray or anything. The down 4 being very plus, I think it's plus 26 on hit, guarantees a free teleport. It has above average meter building, which we'll talk about in the video. This variation poses the best opportunities for pressure and offense. The range and the Oki with 322 is very strong. EX push is a mid overhead. That's something that you don't get in the other variations. This variation, everyone wants to talk about, well, what about Kenjutsu? Why aren't you using Kenjutsu? Because it's 50-50 town. Well, let me tell you about Possessed. It has safe 50-50s. You don't even have to do option selects. The overhead option is -6, and the low in the EX low is -6. In fact, the EX overhead is +5, which sets up frame traps, which again we'll talk about more in the video in detail. As I said, the shoulder is the safest, and also has a frustratingly amount of block stun. Test it for yourself. It has almost a second of block stun off shoulder, which creates a lot of frustration for opponents who are trying to run after it, or they try to run after they'll get a dash, or they try to back one and they'll get the second hit of their string. It also has the safest Rising Karma. It has a down 1 reset, which I'll show. It has the best pushback on all specials across the board, except down back 1, which has virtually no pushback. It has the highest damage and potential damage. It has the best use of the 2-2 string recapture. The forward 4 range is very strong, however, that normal is complete garbage. I should put that in my negatives, which actually, let's go ahead and talk about some of the negatives of Possess before the video starts. The teleport armor is on startup. It does not have any armor on the way down. That's nitpicky, but, I miss Martian Manhunter. Anyway, it has the worst down back 1 anti-air damage out of the 3 variations. However, it does give you 18% when you EX it, and it does send them full screen with a hard knockdown, allowing you to do the teleport for free, or you can build meter with another whiff down back 1 and create space. That's a negative. EX down back 1 does combo in the corner though, so that negative becomes kind of a neutral in the corner, But let's not lie. Off cross-ups, if you do EX down back 1, then you're going to get 18%, whereas other variations you might end up getting 30 to 37. Back forward 3, as I said, or mentioned earlier, is a mid. However, this is a very dangerous move still to use. Back forward 3, in my opinion, is very buggy in this game. You can dash directly through it, you can run right through it, and it does not track. The tracking properties are very poor for back forward 3. In fact, I would only use back forward 3 for the combo ender, or as an anti-air further away on the way down, not the way up. Down back 1 is still very buggy and will randomly whiff on wake up, and when people neutral jump or when people dash or run in front of your face, down back 1 will basically whiff through them, which is super unfortunate. The forward 2, the normal, the poke, like Havoc's from Mortal Kombat Deception and Shang Tsung's from Armageddon, the forward 2 lack of cancel advantage hurts his range mix-ups and forces the constant use of down 4 and other short range normals. But anyway, let's get into the video, and right off the bat I'm going to show you why I like Possess better, and one of the main reasons is it's a safe, unpunishable shoulder by about 90-95% of the cast, whereas Balance and Kenjutsu are more punishable, especially balanced. So as I'm showing here, I put Kenshi on reversal shoulder, and I'm trying to punish with Cassie's back one. I can't punish back one, and I can't punish his down back one. Usually, if you do this in balance, which I'm about to show, she can get about a 35% combo, leading to a 50-50 reset just from me trying to do my spacing tool in balanced, or just say I do a down back one in max range, she can punish that as well. Shoulder across the board, across the casts, universally, is much harder to punish, if impossible to punish, by a lot of the casts. Now let's get into the meat. Let's talk about Kenshi's 70% corner reset with 2 bars, 68% and 51%. It's all based off the 2-2 string, as I just showed right here. It's 5% on hit, but you would never do it like that. You would use it as an ender, as a recapture. You can see it's 0 on hit and leaves you in a neutral situation. So basically off of B&B, see how I just did 2-2 and do recapture, and both characters are at 0. But here's where it gets juicy. You could do 2-2 overhead, notice that combos, and notice 2-2 shoulder combos, and then 2-2 back forward 3 combos. So you're wondering, where's the reset? The 2-2 down back 1 also combos, but what about this special? 2-2 low drop. Aha, Kenshi's hype, because it did not in fact combo. She has to block low or gets reset by the EX version, creating a massive damage potential combo. And potentially the same situation again. But you might say, why am I not blocking, low every time? Well, the overhead, combos. Well, not this one. The EX overhead, see Kenshi getting hype. The EX overhead does not, in fact, combo. It adds 13% onto the other damage. So here's a 70% bar combo off a forward 3 punisher off a jump in. Get 38% initially. There's the reset, because she didn't block low. So it's 38% plus 32, which sets up a down 1 reset potentially in the corner, which I'll show later in the video. And then here's the same reset off a back 3 and overhead to back 3. You get 36% initially. There was a reset because she didn't block low. And 36 plus 32, you get 68, which again sets up the down 1 reset that we're going to talk about after the resets. Now that's the corner. But actually, here's the overhead option. 38 plus 13. So you just spent 2 bars for 51% damage. And if they block it, that EX down 4-4 is plus 5, setting up frame traps with shoulder. But now let's look at the mid-screen reset potential. 27 plus 30, so you get 57% 2 bar for not blocking low on the 2-2 reset. Now let's look at the other options. Not as good, but I just want to show and be fair and show you guys every option. So you get 27% plus 13%, so you get 40 for 2 bars, which isn't, that worth it. It's good for closing out matches, honestly, but you can also do this. When they start expecting the reset, you can slightly delay it and do a back 3 into an EX down back 4, and then go for the reset again. Again, only costing 2 bars, you could potentially take their entire life. And then here's a gimmick setup. You can end in 2-2 teleport and get a throw for 39%, and that's 1 bar. Now let's talk about the down 1 reset. This is much easier to do in the corner. Basically ending a back combo in back forward 3, you have a 2-frame window to hit down 1 as they're crumbling down. You recover before the crumble is complete. So notice when I'm about to show the video, they'll crumble down off a back forward 3 hard knockdown. You have a 2-frame window to do a down 1. You have a 1-frame window to do a standing 1. You can also do the down 1 mid-screen as well, as I'm going to show in these upcoming examples. So let's take a look. So remember, you could do your 70% 2-meter combo reset, or do any kind of 38% B&B in the corner, and with back forward 3, and it leads to this down 1 reset situation. And I'm not going to lie, it's very hard. And what you do is when the down 1 connects right there, you hit, well, you don't hit confirm, you do just basically down 1 and you commit to the EX low, or the normal low, or the overhead, or the normal overhead. Or you can just do a down 1 and then go into a throw or pressure. Now let's look at some B&Bs. I'm just going to talk in general as you see the B&Bs. This is a back 3 EX low launcher 1-bar combo without screen switch positioning. This right here is a back 3-2 with screen positioning. Off a back 3-2 into an EX down back 4, you can definitely switch the positions on the screen if your back's on the wall of the corner. This right here is his second biggest 2-bar mid-screen combo, 46%. You would use that if you block Scorpion's teleport or Kung Lao's spin, or something that's very negative on block. The next thing is basically a teleport combo that ends in a back 4-3, which sets up the down 1 reset in the corner. And this is his actual largest mid-screen 2-bar combo. I just added the standing 1 right here to get an extra percent, would make it maxing out at 47%. And again, if you block something heavily negative, that's when you would do that. Here's another combo that ends in screen switch positioning. Added a little standing 1 there and leaves you at perfect range for a shoulder check at the end. These are just different examples with a standing 1 added into the combo to add that extra 1% damage. And all these can be used to run under the opponent when they're in the air to do screen switch position, which is very, very important when your back is on the wall and Kenshi's trying to create all of the space. These are combos created off a teleport. If you read it correctly and you get damage, you can get 1-bar 34%, or you don't have to spin meter and you can get, let's see what this damage is. You can get 25%. Another thing that I want to point out is all these combos leave you in shoulder check range. Very, very good. And then let's look at the 114. It's not special cancel anymore, but you can do 114 run cancel into back 1 EX down back 4 into your normal B&B enders for very good damage, and that's off of a 9-frame Punisher, your standing 1, so it's very viable. These are combos that all Kenshi players need to know for all variations. Let's talk about Kenshi's anti-air game. A lot of people are going to have different opinions than me on this, but I'll try to do my best to explain why. But his best anti-air is sweep. It's back 4. That I think undoubtedly. Down 1 works, down 3 works, standing 1 works. Hell, even forward 4 works. But down 4 is great for all the right reasons. If you're earlier or late, then it whiffs and saves you from getting hit from the attack. It creates a hard knockdown, which allows Kenshi Possessed to go into his pressure game. But I'm using Cassie here, who has very strong jumping 1s, jumping 2s, and so you can use standing 1s, but back 4 is just the safer, it's the 10 out of 10 option. You're not going to get hit as much. I mean, you get damage off the standing 1, there's no doubt about that, okay? But she's going to get damage if you're just a frame off. And what about if you're holding back and you're walking back and then you press 1 and a back 1 comes out and now that's death on whiff. I mean, things like that is where you went for the meat and potatoes, where you could have just gone for the safe 10 out of 10 option and just do back 4, because if you're late or you're early, then it whiffs. Another reason why back 4 is so good is these cross-ups. You can always do back 4 and it makes almost every cross-up whiff, whereas I just tried down 2, and if you're not like on the frame with Kenshi's down 2, you're going to get wrecked. Now let's talk about Kenshi's run game, the running game in Possess. Every character has a run game, and you'll probably hear this develop a little bit more, but he can run in and do shoulder, which is a safe -11, very good special to control space. And as you see here, the EX shoulder is -11 as well, but it has 3/4 screen pushback. It's a mid overhead. And after all these, you can usually check them with a low stomp pretty safely, or a down back 1 to build meter. Or you can just run in and go for the pig of the hut, as I like to call the run and throw, and then off a throw you can whiff a down back 1 to build meter. Or you can go in for the double low, the back 3 EX down back 1, or you can just do a back 3 check or a back 3 overhead. A back 3 overhead leads to a free shoulder check, which leads to a low totem stomp check. And all this does is notice how much I'm pushing my opponent back and dictating the match. I'm showing her that I control this space, you own none of this space. And you can also do down 4 EX down back 1, or down back 1, or down 4 down forward 4, and that controls a lot of space. And doing all these tools really slows your opponent down mentally and allows you to start opening up the teleport game. So let's talk about the down 4 game. The down 4 is his best normal, his strongest normal, the longest reaching normal, and sets up his safe 50-50 in possess. Also, forward 2. But as you can see here, down 4, down forward 4, or down back 4 is a very good mix-up. Forward 2 is pretty good, especially forward 2, down forward 4. That's pretty good. But the down back 4 does not have very adequate cancel advantage, and it can be armored out of, it can be jumped out of, it can be backdashed. But that's why down 4 into the overhead special is safe, and it creates massive pushback, and is a very good low overhead fast mix-up in the neutral game. So utilizing 3-2-2 overhead builds a lot of meter and sets up a free shoulder check. And this is part of Kenshi's 50-50 game and pressure game. You can also do 3-2-2 the low stomp, which is also safe, but that's armorable and interruptible. You can do 3-2 overhead, you can do 3 overhead, you can do 3 low stomp, you can do 3-2 low stomp. The 3-2-2 string is the best. I like that over 4-2 one because 4 is a high, and if they wake up mashing, or they wake up mashing down 1 or special, then it sometimes will beat the high. That's why I like 3. Plus 3 is, I think it's 11 frame mid. Not the best range, but it sets up the 3-2-2 mix-up game, which builds meter, and it makes them guess for the 50-50 at the end of the string, as opposed to the beginning, and which allows you to build meter in time when you keep on using the 3-2-2 string. Now, again, I'm just showing 3-2-2 examples here. I wish I would have cut my meter off and put it on normal so you can see the amount of meter, but if you do 3-2-2 overhead into shoulder, you're building almost a half a bar, and you're maintaining space, you're controlling space, you're pushing your opponent backwards, and the overhead creates immaculate space to where you can do 3-2-2 overhead special into EX shoulder, which is -11, and pushes them back 3/4 screen or even full screen, and then you can start using your back forward 3, or your you can set up your run game basically. Also, after 3-2-2 overhead special, it sets a perfect distance for setting up down 4 overhead special or down 4 low special. And while some of these at max range push them out of range of the shoulder, it's a good way to check the opponent to show them that you control the space, and they're gonna have to think twice before rushing in or coming in and trying to start their game and start their offense. But I'm showing all this over and over again just to show the amount of space that can be created off the down 4 overhead game into the EX shoulder. And then notice we started right next to each other, but look where they ended up, and all while Kenshi's only spending a bar of meter while building meter. Now for a brief note about Kenshi's teleport. Off teleport into a blocked jump punch on the way down, you're guaranteed a down 1 against every character in the cast. They can armor it, or they can backdash it, but other than that, not even a 6-frame flip kick from Cassie or 7-frame flip kick from Cassie can stop it. You can do a teleport punch into a down 1, and you can do down 1 into the overhead special or down 1 to the low special. As you can see here, if I'm off a frame, I get punished, but notice most of the time I'm stopping her with a down 1. Back 3 works really well against 90% of the cast that don't have 7-frame special launchers. Now let's look into some of Kenshi's weaknesses in Possessed and with this pressure game. I've got Cassie on reverse EX flip kick. Notice she cannot interrupt 4-2-1 overhead. Notice that she can't interrupt 4-2-1 low special. But she can interrupt down 4 overhead and down 4 low, so you have to make sure you space out these attacks per matchup. She can also interrupt 3-2-2 low. She cannot interrupt 3-2-2 overhead. So, it makes the overhead a much stronger option and the low a risk option. Forward 2 has very poor cancel advantage, but thank God the spacing sets up the blocking to where it's very hard to armor punish it, unless you have an advancing armored move. So luckily flip kick does not advance forward, because that would be very terrible using forward 2. Back 1 into low is not interruptible, as is back 1 into overhead is not interruptible. 4-2 into low is not interruptible, but 4 into the low is. Anything into the overhead is not interruptible from the 4-2-1 string. 4-2 especially feels like it has the best cancel advantage. Now let's look at this. Back 3 low is not interruptible due to it's a meaty attack, but back 3 up close into low special can be armored in between. So the back 3 does have a really good range, so it's important that the Kenshi player understands how to use it at max range to where back 3 low is not interruptible. Back 3-2 overhead is not interruptible. Back 3-2 low special is interruptible. Now let's take a look at some burning trash, or what I like to call forward 4. Forward 4 is hot garbage. Hot, stinking, rotten garbage. Whoever mocapped this move deserves an immediate apology letter from everyone who had anything to do with this move, because this move will never serve a purpose in the light of day. It's blissfully slow, and it's -20 on block. God help anyone who tries to win a match using this worthless move. Anytime you see this move come out in a match, it's most likely a mistake. Now let's just wrap it up here with Kenshi's corner game in Possessed. Understand that EX down forward 4 is +5 and gives a free back forward 2 check and also a down back 1 check for people who are trying to jump out. It also sets up a free down 4 mix-up into the overhead or the low. Or when you have them respecting the +5 frames that you're getting off EX down forward 4, it sets up your running offense into back 3 mix-ups or other mix-ups or a throw. And in the last segment, I just want to show baiting wake-ups with Standing 1, EX Rising Karma will actually armor break armored wake-ups. Standing 1 comes out and recovers so fast that you can enter an EX command that has armor, and it will absorb the armored hit on wake-up, and you will end up punishing your character on Wake Up. This is one of the things that was made famous by Dizzy at Combo Breaker with Raiden against Sonic Fox, and it's something that I applied to Kenshi, and everyone should look into with their character. Another thing I'm showing here, I'm just showing these videos, is Standing 1 recovers really fast to bait armored Wake Ups, which you can get them to use a bar meter. You bait, you're safe, and then you punish. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope it wasn't too rushed. I tried to make it go fast, but you can always rewind certain parts and listen to it if you feel I wasn't very clear, I rushed through something. You can watch parts multiple times. I know the video is very long, and that's why I tried to rush. I didn't want a 45-minute War and Peace epic variation guide, but I think I covered most of the meat and potatoes that deals with Kenshi's Possessed. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on my stream, twitch.tv/streamofthehut, or at BamBamGuitar on Twitter, or Pick of the Hut anywhere else. Guys, I hope you enjoy this, and I will definitely release the next 2 variation guides over the next 2 or 3 days. Thank you.